Good afternoon, Ball State. I'm WCRD Chief Weather Forecaster Alex March. Since the WCRD 5 o'clock news hour is canceled for today, we didn't want you to be without a forecast, so here's your forecast for today.
Well, good evening on this dreary Friday, April 23rd. We've had a little bit of rain today, but it hasn't been a whole lot. That, though, is going to be changing over the next probably 24 hours or so. Here's a look at the radar. This is about 7 o'clock this evening. Shows a little bit of radar returns from across Muncie and much of the WCRD listening area. Here's a broader look across the state. Much of the rain is to the north of Indianapolis, and from Muncie it points north as well. If you look at the rain around Plymouth, too, that's especially heavy, and all of that rain is moving to the north and east, along and ahead of the stationary front, which you can see down towards southwest Indiana. Now, here's what the Storm Prediction Center has said for tomorrow. If you'll notice that the areas in the green, that's the slight risk. That is still to the south of Muncie, and the area there in red is the moderate risk, where you have a better chance of seeing that severe weather. But I do believe that by the time we get to tomorrow morning, the Storm Prediction Center will include Muncie and much of Indiana into that slight risk, and perhaps moderate risk as well. So just stay tuned to the weather for tomorrow, because it could get rather noisy. Now, here are the threats that I think. I think tornadoes are a possibility. I don't think that they're a high possibility, but they are a possibility nonetheless. Also, hail is going to be a threat for tomorrow, and heavy rain is also going to be a threat for the storms tomorrow as well. Now, April has been dry, so it's going to be good to get some rain, since we haven't had a whole lot of it, and it's been about 2 weeks since we've had some good rain, so it will be good to have some rain, though the rain tomorrow could be heavy enough, and it could come in a short enough time that it could cause some localized flooding. So that's something to watch out for as well. So what do I think for tonight? I think that by 8 o'clock tonight, I think we have the chance for some on and off showers, the same thing by midnight. But by the time we get to 4 o'clock, that chance of rain does become more steady, and it could be heavy at times as well. We'll go down to about 56 degrees for tonight. And then for tomorrow, we'll start out with some showers as well, but by any time afternoon is when we could have the chance for those thunderstorms, and yes, they could be severe, and the temperature will be going up close to 70. Here's a look at the next 5 days. After tomorrow, I think things do calm down a bit. For Sunday, we've only got a chance for some rain. Monday, a slight chance for some rain. And then Tuesday, that chance of rain does exist, but I think it's small. And for Wednesday, I think we're going to see the sun again, something we haven't seen here for a few days, and so it's going to be nice to have it out again. Temperatures, though, except for Monday, do remain into the 60s, so that's pretty close to normal. That temperature on Monday, though, does drop down to 56 on the other side of that cold front. Now, today is Friday, and so we are going to look at what's with the weather. Now, I didn't get any real good questions this week, so I'm going to answer a question that I'm frequently asked. I'm frequently asked, how do you forecast the weather? Now, a meteorologist forecasting process is something that belongs to him, and it's somewhat proprietary. So I'm not going to completely share it, but I will tell you some of the major points that I do use. There are a number of computer models that are run several times a day. Some of them are run twice a day. Some of them are run 4 times a day, and so what I do is I look at several models that are run multiple times a day, and I look at those runs, and I look at the guesses and the solutions that they are saying, possible solutions of what might happen. Now, as the weather forecaster, it's my job to know Muncie, to know the weather that typically happens there, and to know if these computer models are really making sense, to know if what the computer models are suggesting is going to happen actually will happen. And then I tweak the forecast to the area and so that I can we can figure out what is actually going to happen here in Muncie. And that's the job of the forecaster, to know his area and to know what has happened between the model runs, because they're run about 12 hours apart typically. Some of them are run 6 hours apart, so a lot changes between there, and it's the job of the weather forecaster to keep up with that and to know what happens from hour to hour. Now you can have your question answered right here on What's with the Weather. Next week we will be back on the air, and so next week will be your final chance to get those questions answered. And we'll look at those next Friday on the WCRD 5 o'clock news hour. And until then, enjoy your weekend, and you can hear your forecast back on 91.3 FM on Monday. Have a great weekend.